So, the trip. I'm doing this video whilst I'm down here because obviously I have no privacy at my house. My mum watches literally everything I do. Example, I went upstairs today to put away the contents of the suitcases upstairs, and within 10 minutes she's yelling for me, "What are you doing? Why are you up there?" I'm in the same house, and she is yelling, asking me where I am and what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. There is no privacy. So this space here is literally my escape now. I can see that this is going to be my escape. And I basically will have a couple of hours at the most down here before she's phoning and asking when I'm coming back, because that's how it works. The same thing happened in Jamaica. I could not leave her at any time for more than 10 minutes. So I walked down to the shops to get food. She wants to know why I've taken so long to bring back her food. I walked down to my aunt's house to drop off a pot. She is ringing my aunt and saying, "Where is Lisa there?" She is literally sitting on a veranda looking down a hill to the house that I am sitting on the veranda so she can see me sitting there. And she's asking my aunt where I am. And I'm right there. Can I come? Send her back up. I don't like to be here on my own. I don't know what this means for me. You will see from the clips, because I am going to put this as part of the video because I don't want to hide anything, and I want you to understand how difficult this situation currently is for me. Not asking for pity. I am asking for advice, but I'm not asking for pity. I have got to deal with this. I am a grown woman. This is my mother, and I've got to deal with it. So I don't know what this means for me. She is very happy to tell people that I'm not earning, that I'm not working. She does not consider this work. So whatever sales I make of the books, whatever I make on sales of Sage and Sweetgrass products, she doesn't consider this a job. She is telling people that I am not earning and that she's paying for everything and that I am basically living off of her. That is what she's telling people. And I am not going to lie, I find it really hurtful because I'm doing my best here to try and turn what was a side hustle and was a way of saving money for the future I wanted for myself in Jamaica into a full-time income. That is what I'm having to do. And it's not what I planned. My plan was this was going to be side hustle and was going to be the little bit of money that I put aside to build up my pot for my dream in Jamaica. That was what this was about. It was never supposed to be a full-time income. And now I'm going to have to work 4 times harder to try and get this off the ground and to make it work and to earn enough money to make a living whilst looking after her, and to try and put some aside for the Jamaica plan for down the line. The Jamaica plan is on hold because I'm not in any hurry for my mum to pop her clogs. So, and she doesn't want to go back to Jamaica. Having said that, after telling me that she didn't want to stay in Jamaica, she didn't want to come with me if I moved to Jamaica, she was telling people by the end of the trip that we were coming back next year. Now, that wasn't in my plan, because as far as I was concerned, this trip was her last trip because she's getting really frail. And to sort of show you how frail she got, she couldn't walk anywhere. I had to drive her everywhere. I had to hold her arm and help her walk. Even the walk down to Dad's tomb, I had to support her. And I don't begrudge that, but it shows you how frail she is. And if she's that frail now, come next year when she's actually 83, another trip to Jamaica. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll go. I'll spend another month in Jamaica. I loved it. I didn't want to come back. The saddest part for me was waking up this morning and realising I'm back in England. I don't want to be here. I want to be in Jamaica building the life that I planned, but I can't. So I have to do this. So it is a point at which I have to decide what's next. What do I do now? If I go and get a full-time job, which I miss working with people, I loved my job. I am not unhappy to go back out to work and to be with people, but that would mean leaving her alone in the house for between 8 and 10 hours a day, depending on where I work. Her idea of me working is for me to get a work from home job that I do, and I'm in the house where she can shout at me and ask me to do things for her 24/7. That's her idea of me getting a job. Now, I don't know about you, but those remote jobs aren't as available as they were a year ago. They're just not. And even if I do get a remote job, which again, quite happy to do, I would really miss the social side of things, because that's the bit I liked about working, was the social side. I was good at my job, but I really loved the social side, and I loved my team. And I loved training people. I really enjoyed helping people learn. So that was my job and I loved it. But getting something like that again is not necessarily going to be easy. And the other thing is that if I'm in the house with her 24/7, she will treat me like I am available even if I'm at work. Because even now, when I'm upstairs working on the computer, listing books, listing products, building the websites, doing the promo stuff, doing the social media, doing this, she is shouting at me from downstairs. Can you come and turn the TV over? Could you come and make me a cup of tea? Could you do this? Could you do that? So if I'm trying to do a job for somebody else with her doing that to me all day long, how am I going to get anything done? I'm just not. And if I go out to work, that's her alone in the house for 8 to 10 hours a day. She can't manage the stairs. If she's got the toilets upstairs, what happens if she takes a fall? So I kind of am damned if I do and damned if I don't. And it's not a nice place to be, because no matter what happens, I feel like I'm failing. I feel like I am in some way letting her down. And that is a horrible, horrible feeling. So for now, I'm going to just do what I can do, which is sort this out, get this place working, get more of the products and the books listed, and just see where we go. I am going to be doing some shows for my friend Sam and her husband. I'm going to be running some of their stands, which is MS Home and Gifts. So I will be running their stands in various places around the country. Not too far away, because I have to cater for mum's needs and she has to come with me to all of these things. So there's that. I'm going to be doing the books. I'm going to be doing the Sage and Sweetgrass products. I will be doing shows for Sage and Sweetgrass on top of the shows for MS Home and Gifts. And I'm going to be doing my best to keep creating the KDP books that I do, creating content for here. Oh my God, there's so many things on my to-do list. It's quite frightening. But the first thing I have to do, obviously, is build that table. Because as you can see, my makeshift table is a crock. I didn't screw the legs on properly. It wobbles and I'm absolutely terrified of putting anything on it because it's going to fall over, and I know it. So the first thing I have to do is build that table. So that is my task for today. Then depends how long I've got, because the shelves that are there, they're the really nice big fat ones, which are great for books and things. But I accidentally bought the smaller shelves, the ones that are thinner and not as wide. They were a deal and I got 4, and it's only now that I'm looking at them and thinking, oh God, they're not the same shelves. Oops. So I'm thinking what I will do is put the thinner shelves here, at least 2 of them there, and that way I can put all of the envelopes and the poly bailers and all of that sort of stuff and the sellotape, etc. there, then push the bench up against it, and that gives me some workspace there that I can do all of the shipping and packing and then I can bring that dodgy laptop that I've got at home, if I can get into it, because I can't remember the password for the life of me. It can only be one of a few things. And then my label printer is here as well. I've got one of them here. So if I can get them set up, instead of printing the labels at home all the time, I can bring that here, and I can also print labels here and get them out, and make that process quicker. You can tell that I used to be in continuous improvement, can't you? My ex-boss Keith would be so chuffed to know that all the lessons that he taught me and all the things that I learnt whilst helping build the training package, etc., that it is actually rubbed off, because it really has. Every time I come in here, it's like, what improvements can I make to the systems in this place? How can I make things run smoother? How can I find things quicker? I know it looks like chaos at the moment, and it pretty much is chaos at the moment. But that is purely because I have not had the time between when I got this unit and now to actually sort it out. The trip to Jamaica came within 2 weeks of getting this unit. So I literally just had to shove everything in here. And on top of that, I had flu. So I was really not very well. So I had to rush and get everything in here and get it out of the smaller unit and then just go away to Jamaica for a month. I can't tell you how upset I was when I sort of thought, oh, you could be spending a month sorting all this stuff out, and it could, you know, you've got real momentum going now. The sales were really good and it was all starting to break for me. And then I had to go and shut everything down for a month to go to Jamaica. So it does feel a little bit like being back at square one. You'll have to excuse the background noise. This is one of those kind of safe store places. There's constant noise with trolleys and people moving things around. It's constant noise. But this is the best space I've ever had. I had a converted garage at one point, and I loved my garage. It was beautiful, but it wasn't the same size as this. But I wasn't doing this then. I was making stuff. So that's the other thing. Whilst I was in Jamaica, the wreath that I made for my dad's grave, so many people were like, you could do this as a business in Jamaica. There's so many people looking for this kind of thing to put on their family tombs. You could actually, so there you go. It's another option. I also managed to have chats with people in Jamaica about my idea of what I want to do over there. And it made me feel a lot better that it isn't a pie in the sky idea, that actually it's a really good idea and it makes a lot of financial sense. And if I can get the land that I need and make this happen, that it would be something that would make me a living in Jamaica and mean that I was quite comfortable, and the investment that I plan to make on being there is worthwhile. I just need to now be able to come up with the money, build the business plan for it, and maybe once I've got my citizenship and my papers sorted out and I'm allowed to buy land in Jamaica, I will be able to start that process. I won't be able to finish it. Obviously, I won't be able to do any of that until after Mum is gone, and I'm not in any hurry for that to happen. But I do need to sort out what I'm going to do with Mum. I can't emotionally and psychologically deal non-stop with the rudeness, the spitefulness, the things she says. They cut deep, and I don't know if I can. I don't think my mental health should come at the cost. It shouldn't be the price I have to pay to look after my mum. I want to look after my mum. I want to be a good daughter, but I shouldn't have to pay that with my own psyche being eaten away at by the way she treats me. So I do need to think very carefully about what I'm going to do, and that's also not a nice place to be, because it means that I'm going to have to make some hard decisions about what I'm willing to put up with and what I'm not. And you'll notice that I've started to put weight back on again. And again, yeah, I was doing really well, losing weight. I've lost nearly 7 stone altogether. And I have put back on a stone since my mum moved in with me, mostly because she just keeps putting her food on my plate. and saying, oh, we mustn't waste, we mustn't waste. And it's starting to get to me, because she then goes and tells people, look how fat she is. So she feeds me and then uses it to tell people, oh, she eats too much food, she eats too much food, you should see her eat. Yet half her dinner is ending up on my plate at every meal, because she gets halfway through and says, I don't want any more. I don't, even the smallest portions I give her, halfway through, she just, it's, you eat it, I don't want it. And I'm really struggling with that, because I was raised to clean my plate. And now I'm back in that situation. I was in a position where I was eating right, eating smaller portions, taking care of myself, getting some exercise, and now I'm not, because I can't even leave her alone in the house for 10 minutes without her questioning where I am and what I'm doing and why have I left her alone, and the whole guilt trip thing. Oh, this has just sounded like a really bad ranty rant, really, and I didn't want it to be. But maybe I needed it. Maybe I needed to say these things out loud, because they are in my head and I am struggling with them. I really am. So, yeah. So you're going to see some clips about the trip to Jamaica, the beach. I hope you enjoy them. And I'm going to go away and get on with building this table. So hopefully the next video, there'll be a lovely new workbench there. There'll be some lovely new shelves across the back, and an awful lot of this product that is in boxes everywhere will be out, will be put away, because it'll have been photographed and it'll be on the website ready to buy. Yeah, I've got a lot to do. So wish me the very best of luck, because I'm gonna need it. So this is Frenchman's. The last time I came here, there was buildings all the way over here, but as you can see, the hurricane took them all out, and now they are rebuilding. I mean, it's going to come back bigger and better than it ever was. The sea, I've already had a swim. I was thinking though, I could maybe do an ASMR, just the ocean. It's so beautiful. But this is what I was going to take a photo image of. See all of these along here? These were all hotels that got smashed up by Melissa. And that's not even the worst ones. Excuse me. This here is the worst. Take a look at this. When I was here last year, before Melissa, that was a two-story home, or rather a two-story Airbnb. It looks like they're starting to rebuild, but there's a lot of work to do to repair this. Lots of work to prepare this. See inside. All of the footings, foundations, all smashed up. Such a shame. So I've already had a call from Mum, so I imagine that I kind of need to get this one done quickly, and then I need to get out of here because she's clearly starting to get stressed about being on her own. Do you see the problem now? I am, yeah. I've arranged the shelves on that one slightly differently. I'm regretting not doing the same layout on the first shelves, but you know what? It's up, and yeah, I'm just going to live with it. I cannot be asked to rearrange them all again. So let's just count this as a win and move on. What is it we say in continuous improvement? Done is better than perfect. Alright, let's get this one in. Probably, oh, that's what's wrong. I definitely think I need to get the screwdriver in there and bend it round, like I did on the bottom one. There we go. So now I can use this as the packing bench. I can pop all the orders that come in down there as I'm ready, and use this part for the actual packing. And you put all the envelopes back. Scared the life out of me. That won't live up there anyway. Another box empty. Now these envelopes I bought, they were supposed to be A5. As you can see, they're clearly not. So they're not a lot of good to me, but you never know. They might come in handy for small items. But these I get for a lot of. So I'm going to put some out in the hopes I use them. And the larger size polymailers. I've got a lot of very small mailers because I used to use them when I was selling jewellery quite a lot. I do still have an awful lot of jewellery, so they will come in handy. And there are smaller items that probably from sage and sweetgrass that can probably fit in those small ones, so they won't go to waste. I try not to waste anything, not the cardboard, not the packing paper, not the bubble wrap. I try to reuse it as much as possible in the business so that it's not going to landfill. I hate sending stuff to landfill. It's very upsetting. Anyway, finally, I am going to go and pack my orders now. So I picked most of the orders. I've got one sage and sweetgrass one that I have to find. I think it's round the corner there in the dark. But I've picked all the books, so they're already done. So first of all, we've got Under the Whispering Door. His Death Was Their Beginning by TJ Klune. I think it's a mystery. Not entirely sure. Not read it, so I don't know. That was £3.50, I think. Most of my books are priced at about £3.50. I obviously want to make a little bit of profit, but at the same time, I want to rehome these books. So, and I want to sell as many of them as possible. So I always put in to my sales a couple of my leaflets, one for Sage and Sweetgrass with a discount code, and the Book Buddies one with a discount code. The Book Buddies one is in the hopes that my eBay customers will become Book Buddy customers and go directly to the website and buy the books there. I only have the multiples on Book Buddies. I don't put the singles on there because it's a lot of effort to list books on a Shopify website when you've only got one. It's much better when you've got multiples. So all the multiple ones I have that I picked up, which are mostly new books, to be honest. In fact, they are all the ones that I have multiples of are new books. But they go and live on Book Buddies. So what I will do is, once I've packed these all up, I will drop them off on the way back to the house. So this one is What Mummy Makes by Rebecca Wilson. It's a recipe book. This one has had an awful lot of interest on it. It's sold on Vinted, but it had an awful lot of interest. I had about 6 people put in an offer of £4. I accepted them, but nobody actually pulled the trigger and bought it. And then someone came along and paid £5 for it. So all those people that faffed around and offered £4 but didn't actually buy it, you lost out. Not entirely sure why it's such a popular book, but yeah, I had a load of people offer for this. Before I went away to Jamaica, I was making really good sales on Vinted, really good sales. I'm hoping that now I'm back, that will continue. I only brought a small bag today, which is really silly. I could have got a big one out because a couple of these books are huge. But it was the bag I was carrying when I came in here. So this one is Gangster Warlords. Drug Dollars, Killing Fields and the New Politics of Latin America by Ian Grillo. I'm hoping that's how you say that name. Again, this book, it's sold for £5. It's pristine, absolutely in pristine condition. There is no damage to it, so it's well worth it. And considering the cover price, somebody has got a bargain, and it won't be going to landfill. I am going to need to buy some more A4 envelopes because I clearly have run out. Either that, or I can't find them, or they actually might still be in my house. Did I put them in? No. Now, something I do is I have a SKU number on every book, and it literally tells me where to put the book. So each shelf is numbered, and there are 3 piles. So the codes are always going to be BB, shelf number, and then pile P, 1, 2, or 3. So what I do when I pull the orders off the system is I always write on the back what the book is and what the SKU is, so that I can find it, and it makes life much easier for me when I come here to pick the books. It means I don't spend all my time wandering around going, I don't know where this is, I don't know where this is. Having said that, that has happened on occasion. When I moved from my mum's place and all the books from my house to here, into the smaller unit, a lot of them just got put back in the wrong places, and it took me ages to sort them out. So when I moved into this unit, I've made the effort to go through every book and make sure it is where it is supposed to be. And I have an Excel sheet where the titles and the ISBNs and all of those BB numbers are recorded, so I know exactly where those books are. And then as I go through and they sell, I go back into that Excel sheet and I hide those lines so that I won't be looking for them and I know the book is gone. I will not be reusing photos of books. So the other thing I do as part of my housekeeping is I delete the folder of photos for the book that is sold. That way, whenever somebody's buying a book from me, they can guarantee the book that they're seeing the pictures of is the actual book that is coming out to them in the post. Right, this one, again, this was a really popular book. I haven't read it, so I do not know why, but it's called Red, White and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. I don't know why. It says it's dangerously, outrageously funny. It's romantic, sexy and witty and thrilling. I loved every second. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure what this book is about. Oh, okay. What happens when America's first son falls in love with the Prince of Wales? So it is a romance. It's an alternative romance. I think I love that idea. I love that idea. Oh. I really wish I'd read it now. Well done, Casey McQuiston, for writing that kind of romance. Love it. I do have a feeling that as we're going to be going along, resellers are going to see an uptick in sales purely on the basis that people are starting to struggle financially because of the current world situation. Thank you, Mr. Orange Man. Really messed up the world. But it does mean that full price books may now be out of somebody's budget completely. Right, these two came together or are going together to the same place. They are heavy, heavy books. Architecture in the 20th century and Architecture Berlin, Building Berlin. I get the impression that whoever bought these is an architectural buff or maybe an architecture student. So I'm hoping that they are very happy with their purchases. These both sold, I think, for £10 each. Might be less than that, I can't remember. The one thing I don't write on the back of these tickets is the price, because I don't actually need that to find the book. So, okay, this one, because it is such a heavy package of books, I think what I might do is put it in to a mailer, but then also put one of my plastic mailers over the top of it, just to give those books some eddy protection, because there's a very good chance that when they go out in the post, if the postman isn't careful, the packaging could split. And that is why I buy these very large poly mailers. Now, I'm a big fan of Back from Bailout, Mel, over in Australia. And I watch a lot of her content because I really enjoy it. I find her content really soothing, and I watch it in the evenings. So nearly every day. And since she started doing daily vlogs, I have been hooked. They kept me entertained in Jamaica, let me tell you. Late at night, when I was snuggled in my mosquito tent, and I'd gone to bed and it was late, I would literally watch one of her videos just to lull me to sleep. That sounds weird, I know, but it's true. So shout out to Mel. Thank you very much for keeping me entertained. I'm very grateful. Okay, the last thing I need to find is this Sage and Sweetgrass product, and I have a feeling that this one is in the boxes of products from shows. So, final item for today is this lovely solid wood sign with beautiful home design with a little heart in it. I love this. I think this might be my last one of this. I'm not entirely sure. When I do the stock taking, I'll see what I've got. But I really loved this when I saw it. So yeah, really glad somebody's giving that a home. So for this one, I am going to need, some bubble wrap, of which I have plenty, and some cardboard, because I do not want to send this out unprotected, and a couple of my leaflets. Where did I put my scissors? Oh, there. Clearly got a few things here still to put away. But it's going to have to wait for another day, tomorrow in fact, because I need to get back to Mum. Really, really dropped, and I need to go and see an optician about my eyes. So one of the first things I'm going to do now that I'm back is sort out an eye appointment. And on top of that, I have a ton of appointments to arrange for Mum. She has to have her COPD check. She has to have blood tests. There's a whole bunch of stuff she needs to do. And of course, it's me that's going to have to take her to all of these things. And again, you know, her claiming she doesn't need me and that I'm just using her for her money. All of that, those comments. And I just thought, yeah, and who's gonna deal with all your appointments that you have to go to? And to be absolutely frank with you, and this is going to sound really mean, but she has COPD and emphysema, both of which are lung issues, and yet she is still chain smoking. In fact, she's way worse than before when my dad was alive, because my dad hated her smoking. So she used to hide it and sneak around, and she, for some reason, believed that none of us knew that she was smoking. I'm sorry, Mum, but your hair smelled of it, your clothes smelled of it. We all knew. We just couldn't be bothered to argue. Because if you don't care about yourself, what are the rest of us supposed to do? So my dad and her used to fight constantly about her smoking, because my dad loathed it and she just couldn't give it up. Now she says things like, it's the only thing I have. And that makes me feel crappy. It makes me feel crappy. It really does. But she chain smoked in Jamaica. Chain smoked. It was like the guardrails had been taken off, and all I got was shouted at and called names if I said anything about the smoking. But now we're going to go and see a doctor about emphysema and COPD, and she's going to sit there and lie to the doctor and tell them that she's only having 1 or 2 a day. No, you're not. You literally smoked her way through nearly 400 cigarettes in a month. That's 100 a week. That is not 1 or 2 a day. And I think she thinks that now that we're back in the UK, that is going to continue. But she's not smoking at my house. Full stop. She has to go outside. It's not exactly nice out. I've already caught her smoking in the house twice. And when you call my mum out on something that she's doing that's not on, she just gets abusive. You get called names and starts yelling at you and all sorts of stuff, and it's just not very nice. But when we go and see the doctor, I'm not going to let her lie. When she starts telling the doctor she's not smoking and, oh, she can't breathe and, you know, her inhaler needs to be up to the medication, I'm just going to say to the doctor, don't waste your time, because you're fighting a losing battle. You can't help someone who absolutely refuses to help themselves and who won't tell the truth about what they're actually doing. If you lie to a doctor, you are not helping the doctor to help you. And I know there's a lot of people out there who'll say, oh, Lisa, she's old, don't be mean. Let her do what she wants to do. Fine, but I also have an issue with wasting doctors' time and wasting NHS money if you're not actually going to take on board what the doctor says to you and make the changes that you need to make. I know that I need to lose weight. I know that my blood pressure has improved since I lost a lot of weight. But right now, I'm struggling because I'm beginning to gain weight again because of the situation. And I know that I need to do something about that because it's not going to do me any good. I was doing so much better. My weight was coming down. My joints were starting to not hurt so much. My blood pressure had come down. I was feeling much, much healthier. I'm quite proud of myself, and now it's coming back. And the same thing that's happened to me before is happening again. When I get stressed, I eat, because in my head there's this voice saying, if you eat that bag of crisps, you will feel better about yourself. If you eat that chocolate bar, it will cheer you up. And for a moment, it does. You genuinely feel a little bit better. But then the guilt kicks in, the disgust with yourself kicks in, the oh, why did I do that to myself? I'm sabotaging myself. All of that then kicks in, and you end up feeling absolutely dreadful about yourself. So I'm got to do something about this. I'm not happy that I've put a stone back on. I need to get that back off again, which means I need time for me. I need time for myself. I need time to be able to walk. I need time for exercise. I need to eat better. I need to stop, finishing her plate of food because she doesn't want it and is shoving it onto my plate. I need that to stop. So yeah, things are gonna have to change. Anyway, I've rambled enough for today. I need to go and get these to the post office, and I need to get back to Mum. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. I hope you've enjoyed the little clips that I've added in, and I hope you like, share, follow, all that good stuff, because it will help me make my particular channel grow. And do you like my tan? Yeah, I know, for somebody who spent a month in Jamaica, it's a bit pathetic as a tan goes. I'm still fish belly white underneath. But that's what happens when you go to Jamaica with an elderly parent who doesn't want to do anything. You spend most of your time indoors. Anyway, until next time, see you later.